Okay, let's talk about Joe Gold. Now, this is Joe Gold of the Gold's Gems, and then later the World Gems, and Bill West, Bill Peanuts West. And for those of you that don't know, he spelled his name P-N-U-T-Z and not with an S. There's a lot of people that put it on the internet that it's with an S, and that's not the way he spelled his name. Bill couldn't write, and that's the way he wrote his name. He could read and spoke very educated, but he couldn't write, and so his name is Peanuts, P-N-U-T-Z. I was with Bill for a lot of years, and Bill and I lived next door to Joe's World Gym on Main Street in Santa Monica. And there's a big, giant, old house next door, several levels, and everybody rented rooms, and it was like a co-op thing or something. They had one or two bathrooms in there, and I think a kitchen, and everybody shared that. And so Bill lived on the top level. It was pretty cool. And paid so little rent. I think it was like $50 a week or something rent. The guy that had the house was named Mel. He was a gay guy, really nice man, very nice looking man. And Mel was very soft spoken, but we lived over there right next to the World Gym. And so, being that Bill was an Olympic powerlifter, and at that time he was trying to make another comeback, he was cleaning up from the liquor, and he got off the drugs long, long ago. We were helping to get him in the over 50 classic back then, and it was like the late 70s, possibly early 80s. I'm thinking about the late 70s, and like 79 or 80 or something like that. And anyway, so Bill would work out at the gym next door for free, and Joe Gold was a very dear friend of his. They were on movies together. They did a lot of the gladiator type movies and stuff like that years ago. And so Bill's like, well, come with me while I go work out. And I used to just let him go on his own. And he liked to be with me 24 hours a day. And so I said, well, okay, because I used to work out at Venice Weight Pen for free for years. And Bill trained me so that I could get away from being a little fat girl, as I had tried everything else just short of having my teeth wired together. And I wasn't extremely fat, I was just chunky. And so, I'm a large frame person, so I would never be teeny tiny. But, I needed to get down to 130, 120, something like that. That's a real good weight for me to be pretty thin, to be like a size 3 or 4. But anyway, so he says, come with me while I work out. Oh, I'm like, okay. Because every time I walked in that gym, Joe stood behind the big desk. You had to go upstairs. And he had a big desk there, and he was always in a two-piece running suit. And a very tall man, very nice-looking man. Beautiful gray hair. He combed it back. But he was really kind of scary, very intimidating, because he was a very strong, mean man to me. And I just liked being everybody's friend, I didn't like anybody who did not like me. I'll take somebody who hates my guts and make them like me. And so I see what you missed. So anyway, I went with Bill upstairs to work out, and I, had street clothes on, and he's working out and doing some bench presses, and I'm trying to help spot him and stuff, which, God, he used to bench press like 550 and stuff like this. So, I'm I'm like sitting there being real quiet, and Bill asked me to go get a towel or something from Joe at the desk because he had the little towels, for them to wipe off with in it. And I tried to talk to Joe. I knew Joe was famous, I mean, he had the Gold's Gym down there in downtown Santa Monica, and you could walk by there and you could see all the weightlifters and famous weightlifters as you walk by. It was a big deal, but he'd sold that off. So he had the World Gym, which was a huge gym compared to that little tiny closet down there in Santa Monica on the other side, downtown. So, anyway, I tried to talk to Joe, and, I'm like, well, I'm Bill's wife. And so, I said, could I work out here too? And he said, no. And I said, why? And I mean, there was no women that worked out in his gym at all, none. And there was a few of the famous guys, Zabo and Zane and
Franco Colombo.
And Arnold. Arnold worked out there.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's a doll. I loved Arnold. He was precious. He was really a neat person, especially before he got real famous. He's just a regular guy, a really nice person. And that was way before he was married and all that other stuff. Anyway, and Joe was like, no. And I said, why? And he was mad as hell even to ask that question. I could tell I was scared to death he's going to throw me out, because Joe was a very short-tempered person to me. He appeared to be that way. And Bill was scared of him. He's like, you never know what kind of mood he's going to be in. And Bill used to tease him and stuff, and he was lucky to get a smile out of him. He was just a cranky guy. But, anyway, so I said, well, why? And he said, women belong at home barefoot and pregnant. That's it. And I was like, oh, well. So every time I'd go up to the gym, Bill would drag me up the car and come sit with me while I work out, I dressed real straight, some pants and a t-shirt. I didn't wear real fancy stuff, didn't wear, heels, 4-inch heels down there, 6-inch heels down there. I dressed like a regular person. And so I'd ask him again. I said, why don't you let me work out in your gym? He said, I told you I don't like women in the gym. And I said, why? He said, well, because they'll come in here wearing, all these bright colors and shorts that are too short and tube tops and stuff, and it's horrible. And I said, why? He said, well, because there's serious weightlifters in here, and it'll distract them, and it'll cause a really bad injury. And injuries are really bad when you're trying to get into competitions, and that it just ruins your life every time you get an injury. And I looked down because Joe walked with a limp, and I've got another story about that. And he drug 1 foot all the time. Big man, almost 7 foot tall. And anyway, and he wasn't fat either. He was a nice looking man. I never saw him pushing the iron in the gym at all. He probably did it in his own time or at his house. He drove an old Camino back then. And El Camino truck. And so I said, well, if I come in the gym, I wouldn't be like that. And he went, yeah, sure. So I walked away, because it was like, 2 and 3 minute conversations, because he get real mad, And so, and Bill worked out there for free, so I didn't want to screw that up. So another time came in, he said hi to me, which was odd. So I went over to the desk and leaned on the desk, and I said, Mr. Gold, I said, if you would let me work out, I won't wear racy stuff in your gym, because I'm really serious. I work out the weight pen like every day. Sometimes, most of the time I did like 6 and 8 hour shifts at the weight pen, pumping iron. And so he said, all right, But the first time you come in here wearing some crap, then you're done. And I was like, okay. So I went over and I told Bill, I said, guess what? Joe says I can come in the gym. He said, and he started laughing. And he said, he didn't let any women in these gyms. I said, well, then I got to work out in the gym. I was the first female to work out in Joe Gold's gym. The second one was a girl named Pillow, and she was serious weightlifter, competition weightlifter. She looked about like a dude. She was big time bodybuilder. I was just, out to get in good shape and be able to whoop some raggedy butt and, look better. I didn't want to look like a dude, So, that's what happened. And I worked out there free because Bill was famous and he worked out there free. Joe was a good guy for things like that because he knew the weightlifters didn't have a lot of money. Most of them wouldn't work. And they were strictly, concentrating on spending as many hours as they could pumping iron. Because the whole idea in pumping iron is to do massive repetitions and a lighter weight. It's not, well, I pushed 550. Yeah, like once, twice, 3 times. Tell me about 550 when you could push that sucker about 25 times in one set. 25 reps in one set. Now we're talking. Anybody can do a Hercules pull one time. That doesn't prove nothing, and that creates injuries. Your bones can only take so much. You have to develop the muscles to hold the weight, to protect your bones. Okay? But anyway, that is I was the first woman that ever worked out in Joe Gold's gym, and I went through a lot to get to that point, to get him to say yes. Just a little bits at a time until he, would tolerate it. And I worked out there several times, which was really cool, because we used to come up about 5 o'clock at night. The gym was open till 10 or something like that. And then Arnold used to stay up there late at night, and I'll tell you about that story later. But, so I wasn't like right in the middle of big messes, because, there's a lot of serious weightlifters that were working out there, and you don't want to get in their way. A lot of the gyms today, you go to them, and it's ridiculous. The Mickey Mouse stuff that goes on, guys that sit there, and they're like counting, and they're looking at themselves in the mirror, and they're not even lifting any weight, and they're taking up a bench, or taking up some weights. The rule is you go and you ask them politely, are you done with those? You're always supposed to put the weights back when you're finished, but a lot of them just sit around and collect them instead of put them back so other people can use them. But, true story, pretty iconic. That was an incredible leap in the time of weightlifting. And I was pretty proud because I'd convinced Joe Gold to let me work out in his gym, and I would not abuse the opportunity. So I dressed the right way every time I came in, and he was never mad at me. He'd just have a little bit of a smile, and he'd say hello. And I was really excited about that because I was like, well, great, he likes me, So that was pretty incredible. Boy, it looks like a big Jeep show, doesn't it?
They all get together every week.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, so there you go. Step back in time. Thanks, Joe. I love you always. You ended up being one of the greatest friends and people I ever knew. Thanks for giving me that chance. Love to you.